Hello there, and welcome to Mateo's home kitchen. Yet again, we are not in my usual kitchen, rather, we are in my grandma's kitchen. Today, we are making a Spanish tortilla and an oxtail. Now, you might remember my grandmother as the lady who, in episode 4, walked through the shot in the brownies episode. While I was cooking, she walked through the shot talking on the phone to one of my other family members. Now, she's going to be doing most of the talking this episode, so I'm going to be learning how to do the tortilla and the oxtail with you guys. So she'll be talking to you and myself, not on the phone with my family. Without further ado, let's begin.
That we have to clean them a little bit because they're wet.
And how many of these potatoes will we be using for today's recipe, Nana?
Oh, about, it depends. I always fill up
that pan
the
there.
pot, whatever it can take, okay?
All right.
So maybe we will not cook all of them. It might be too much, okay? So we will just start peeling them and putting them there. Okay, so let me see. Did we have enough oil there? We need to have enough oil. But we do it here in this one, okay?
So how much oil do you usually use for this?
About one, maybe half a cup.
Oh, wow.
Okay, maybe half a cup.
All right.
There, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about half. You can always add more. If you can see that your potatoes are not fully covered, you can add more.
All right.
So, yeah, so...
Be very careful when doing this as...
And do them thin slices. Thin slices is better, okay?
Yes, of course.
All equal.
Yeah. This is not as easy as it looks. My nan has been doing this for good Lord knows how many years now. I'm only an amateur here, so probably get a grown-up.
Yeah,
to
it
do
depends
that
on the
for
potatoes,
you
you know.
Younger.
Sometimes 3 large potatoes is enough. Sometimes 6 little ones, you know, so it all depends. Get that, it's dirty.
Yeah, so we cannot have dirty potatoes.
In the meantime, the oil is heating up.
There is indeed a flame there.
Yeah, the oil is heating up. Once we put the potatoes, we have to chop this onion.
Okay, so she's peeling an onion and she's throwing the peel away in the trash because obviously I don't think we're supposed to eat onion peel. And you might want to plug your noses for this part as there is sulfuric acid in onions that makes you cry a lot. This is why chopping onions is not a particularly favorited step of cooks. It's because it makes them cry when they don't need to be crying. Or maybe it gives an avenue to help chef depression for those chefs who are depressed. I don't know how that really works, but anyway. Okay, surprisingly, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be with this particular onion. Excuse the barking noises. That's my dog who's in the backyard making a huge fuss. Probably because Nana's cats are wandering about. Yeah, well, technically they are my cats, and we did get them for rescue, but they only ever seem to really like Nana, so we call them Nana's
Okay, so now
cats.
maybe the oil is already hot. We're gonna put them there. See?
And in they go.
Yeah, there they go.
Uh,
We just have to fill this up, okay?
okay.
You have to fill that up your container. So I think we need one more. Yeah,
Which is that last
the
potato
last one, yeah,
that it looks like
yeah.
she forgot to chop, but I guess she was saving it just in case we ended up not
Yeah,
eating
it might
one
be
of
too
them.
much. I didn't want to fill it up all the way. Okay, so
In case we ended up not eating one of them. So I would say that was like 5 or 6 potatoes,
Yeah.
right?
small potatoes.
Yeah, but smaller potatoes, you need to use more, like 5 or 6 of that size
Right,
that we're using here is
right.
good. And then, but if you're using a potato like a fairly large potato, I would say cut it down to maybe 3. With the onions, you only
See,
really
everything
need,
has to fit there.
with onions, you only really need 1. You only need
Egg yolks.
So, is it the yolk or the whites that we want from the egg?
Well, you just have to separate the yolk from the white one because we have to beat them separately.
And why do we need to beat them separately?
Yeah, so that the tortilla will become spongy. You know, it will not cake. You have to beat it until it forms peaks.
Okay.
Okay? I'll show you.
From what I've gathered, this takes a while. Because
Yeah.
I remember I had to beat egg whites until they formed peaks for an earlier episode of the show. And it took me 10 minutes, and that was with an electric mixer. So I can only imagine how long it would take by hand.
You see, you get the egg yolks out.
And that was with the other. And
There, okay?
so that was 6 eggs that we just used. And again, just
right.
like the potatoes, the number of eggs you...
They're medium. Usually it's 5, but they're big ones.
Okay.
If they are smaller, then you can use 6. You can use 7, depends on...
So again, size of eggs also determines how many you use. With smaller eggs, it's 7. With medium-sized eggs, like the ones we're using now, 6. And for big eggs, 5.
So now you're going to beat this.
And yeah, beating the egg whites is by far the most strenuous part of this entire recipe. Because, like I said earlier, doing them until they formed peaks took me 10 minutes with an electric mixer.
So you can do it with an electric mixer too.
Yeah, and that was with an electric. Now, Nana's doing it by hand. This is going to take her,
Yeah, until it becomes white. See, look, it's yellow.
yeah, I can
Okay,
see
you have to
that.
wait until it becomes white, the whole thing.
It's just, so you're basically beating this until your arms fall off. if
Yeah,
you're
these
doing
are
it by
just the egg
hand.
whites, okay?
And if you're doing it by electric mixer, it's about 10 minutes. If you're doing it by hand, your arms will probably fall off by the time you're
Yeah,
done.
maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, I don't know.
So once they've
See,
become...
like it forms peaks, see?
Oh.
Okay.
So you just have to make sure the egg whites are actually white, and this is after quite a bit of beating later.
Yeah.
Like, at least 20 minutes.
See, and
worth.
it double in size. That is this one. Okay, now you will start putting the egg yolk. You beat again. Another one.
Okay, now that I think of it, I'm pretty sure I was thinking of whipped egg whites. That's the type of egg white beating that you have to do for desserts.
Yeah, it has to form peaks.
For desserts,
Yeah.
which takes frickin' forever.
See?
You saw me do it in a prior episode. But for the tortilla, you don't have to do nearly as much, just enough so that the egg whites turn, well, white.
Yeah,
And
forms peaks.
apparently it does form peaks earlier than I used to think it forms peaks, so yeah, forgive me for that misunderstanding.
See, it becomes
there.
foamy. See?
Right.
Yeah, that's what you need for the tortilla to get spongy. Not a flat tortilla. It has to be spongy. You know, like it has to grow.
Right.
See? See, look at that, how it grew.
See, yeah, we see that. It grew a lot.
So now we put a little salt in here.
Yeah, for surprisingly, we don't use any peppers. Salt's really the only seasoning you need when it comes to
Salt.
tortilla.
Yeah, no pepper.
Ooh. But then again, you need salt for basically everything.
Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that. And now we have to look at this so that our tortilla gets cooked all the way on all sides. You have to turn it inside out. You don't want it to burn. You don't want it to fry. You just want it to get soft. See? There, see? The ones that are not cooked, you put at the bottom. See? It changes. See the color, how they change?
Yeah.
See? Now we're going to leave them again for another few minutes. Then we turn it again. Oh, that is too much fire. Lower it a little bit because it's boiling too much. So you want it just to simmer. Right?
Yeah. As you can tell, we did the oxtail at the same time as the tortilla. The oxtail will be covered more thoroughly in a later segment of the video.
So that is done.
Okay, so the next thing you
lower
do
the fire.
is you lower the heat and you get some of the oil out of there. So how much oil do we actually take out?
All of it.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to drain it.
Yeah, you have to do it very slowly, like that. It looks like a pain, and it sounds like a pain in the butt, believe me, but you have to do it like this to preserve the shape of the tortilla, I think.
Yeah, you have to drain everything.
How come we have to do it like that, though?
Oh, but you have to put it there. See, and now this one you have to put it here. Remember?
Yeah.
See, you don't want to have a lot of oil there. See? That's why you drain the oil. Oops.
What was that?
We don't want that.
What was it?
Or something from the
Stove.
pot downstairs. So now you have to put this here like that. Slowly mix it.
Is it supposed to be foamy like that when you put it in?
Huh?
Is it supposed to be foamy like that when you put it in?
Yeah. Yeah, see, you have to make sure that the egg goes in all the inside the potato. So you have to keep on mixing it. See? I think that's pretty good. But add a little more soil. I mean,
Soil.
Salt.
Salt. Please don't add soil to your food. I imagine that would contaminate it severely.
of course.
Please.
I will just get this one, Mateo, because it's a better one. We don't want it to stick, remember? This is a clean one. No, it is supposed to be that one. But see, I can see something there. It might stick. I don't want the tortilla to stick. But here, see, remember I told you have to put a spoon of oil there? There. Here, put a spoon of oil. Because we're going to turn this there. Maybe a little bit more, huh? Yeah.
Just make sure you get the oil all around the pan so it doesn't
Okay,
stick.
now we'll let it stay there for a few minutes to heat it up. Yeah, several times I have to put salt because there were like about 6 potatoes.
Yeah, 6.
So, you know, you want them to saturate in there. I'll just heat it up real quick and then lower it a little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna put this there. Some there, redistribute, right? Okay, there you go.
So that is how the tortilla looks when you put it in the pan. Yeah, it is supposed to fill up the whole pan, which, as you saw earlier, my grandma took it out of the oven. Why certain people feel compelled to put pans in the oven to store them, I do not know, but my grandma's one of those people that does this. I guess it's convenient or something. So what we're waiting on here is
we
basically...
want it to get firm a little bit, firm.
Yeah,
so we can turn this inside out.
Yeah, when you shake it, it should not still be moving in the middle. If it's still moving in the middle, do not turn it. If it is still moving at all, do not turn it. And you will occasionally have to like lift up the sides a little to peer at it to make sure you're not straight up burning it. Because after all, nobody likes burnt food. And here comes the big important part, the flip.
Okay, there. That is
So you want to do this while it's firm enough that the middle isn't moving on its own when it's shaken, but you also want to do it while it's not. But you also have to do this in a non-stick pan, so it will still move a little. Just thought I should clarify that.
Okay, now you turn it over.
Okay, here we go. Here's the important part. And a successful flip.
You see that?
Yep.
We lower the fire a little bit. And then you now touch it, it's wobbly. Slowly.
Now if you want to touch
See?
it,
It's wobbly, see? It has to get a little firm. Once it gets firm, it can come out in the other pan. We need another plate.
Won't it be ready then?
Yeah, because this is too deep and it will go down. It will
Yeah.
sag. You don't want it to sag. You want it to be on a straight, flat surface. See? Just like this one. See? It's flat.
Right.
But if you put it down there, it goes too deep.
Oh, yeah.
See?
No, we don't want
You
that.
want it to see, it became spongy. You see that?
Yeah.
It didn't shrink. If you didn't beat the egg white, you will only get half of the tortilla.
I see.
You see? But it has to rise. It's just like sort of
Bread.
a baking powder or something. You know, that it helps when you beat the egg white.
So that is what the tortilla looks like after it's flipped
Yeah,
over.
and then you just, see, it's getting firm. Beginning to get firm on the side.
It's
See,
firm.
It's firm. That's it. Should be firm because it has to cook the egg, right?
Right.
And see, it's a big tortilla. It didn't flap. See, it's just like the souffle. You know when you cook the souffle?
What about
If it folds, it's no good.
Okay.
It has to rise up. And this one rise up. The same as the tortilla.
Yeah, I think I'll just take that and burn myself in the process. Lovely. But it does taste good. So what Nana's doing now with the oxtail is, since it's gotten up to a boil, we covered it with a transparent cover so that it can be monitored. And we reduced the heat.
You have to simmer it, simmer. Not boil, but simmer.
Like, it's part of the technique BTBRTS, which literally stands for bring to boil, reduce to simmer. So that's basically what she's doing here. You have to simmer that for a bit, and then you cook it for goodness knows how long. We'll get to that a little. Do we BTBRTS for the oxtail? That's because if it's boiling too fast and not simmering as it should be during this part of cooking.
It consumes all the water evaporates. You don't want to evaporate the water. You want it to boil slowly.
And then if the water evaporates too much, then it won't be cooked enough and you're going to have to add more, and that's a pain in the butt. So that's why we don't do that. After about an hour after you first put it in,
you boil it maybe 2 to 3 hours. It depends. This one is just half of it.
Okay, so after 1 to 1.5 hours of boiling that oxtail, you're going to want to
until it's soft. Until it is soft,
Okay.
Maybe you can put it in a pressure cooker. It will be faster.
Yeah.
But I don't cook with pressure cooker. I don't like it.
I don't really. Yeah. Nana doesn't like pressure cookers, so this takes
Mateo,
after about.
One time when we arrived in Spain, I saw this guy with crutches, and I said, "Oh, poor man." He said, "Poor man? What do you mean?" I said, "Well, look at him. He's with crutches." He said, "What? He got that because he was cooking lentils and it blew up the pressure cooker."
What?
Yeah, it went up on the ceiling and all the lentils scattered.
Ew.
And it hit him here.
Ooh.
See, that's why he had to have the
Crutches. Okay, and that explains why my Nana does not like pressure cookers.
Yeah, exactly.
Which also explains why this takes 2 to 3 hours. So after 1 to 1.5 hours of boiling the oxtail, depending on just how soft
you are. Look, when it moves still in the middle, you cannot turn it yet.
Okay.
It's still soft.
She's talking about the
tortilla.
tortilla.
I have to wait, but I don't want it to burn, See, I'm looking there.
Just how soft you like your oxtail, turn it over on the other side while it's still boiling.
Turn it over on the other side and let it cook again.
And then let it cook for 1 to 1.5 hours as you were doing before. Make sure it's cooked equally on both sides. Let's put a bay leaf in the oxtail. And what does a bay leaf
just give it a little aromatic flavor.
So bay leaf is one of the main aromatics that you
it's done. See how firm it is now?
Okay.
See, touch it. See, it's firm.
Yeah. The oxtail takes quite a while to get soft. That depends on the age of the meat. If it's younger, it won't take as long. If it's older, it takes longer. So it needs to be very, very soft. So yeah, it's gonna be a while before the oxtail is ready. So the oxtail has now softened enough that we're ready to add the ingredients. These include
2 spoons of olive oil, okay?
Okay.
And we're gonna put some pepper. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Cover it.
And how long do we
let it simmer?
And how long do we cook it after this?
The meat is a little bit tender, not all the way, but then since it has to cook with that, it will still boil the meat. It will still get tender.
Right. How long does it have to cook?
Oh, maybe another half an hour or maybe 45 minutes more.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. So this is the morning after filming everything else. This is how the oxtail actually...
the ingredients, the garlic, the onions.
And the bell peppers.
The bell pepper, and the salt and pepper, and that's it.
So this is how it turns out when it's done. It actually does look delicious.
So remember, you boil the the oxtail until it's tender, the meat. And then add all the ingredients in 10 minutes, and that's it.
Alrighty.
Okay?
So that is how you do a Spanish tortilla and an oxtail. Thank you for
Yeah.
watching.